The Chicago Bears get another unfortunate injury update, and of course, we're going to break it all down, plus a little bit of the mailbag, all that and more, right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm the host there, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Chi Bears Central on every social media app platform we happen to be on. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into this content for today, y'all. And unfortunately, I'm here to bring you guys another bad injury update. Now, we are such the number one place for everything Chicago Bears related. This is our second extra mailbag episode because you guys really turned out for us after week one, calling to the voicemail line. So you're getting your fourth mailbag episode over the last 2 days. But unfortunately, with that comes bad news. The Chicago Bears have announced that Ryan Bates has been placed on injury reserve. He will be on that for 4 weeks at least. He will be eligible to return week 6 for the game in London against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And so that means that Nate Davis will be the right guard going forward. Now, this is not promising, not even because of Nate. However you look at Nate Davis or not, regardless of that, that is what it is. But I think ultimately when you look at it, it just, you want depth there. And Ryan Bates came in and performed. I talked about it on a couple of episodes ago, how Ryan Bates came in and that new metric to measure offensive linemen, he actually graded at really good at doing this job every single time. So even if Ryan Bates does win out as the starter, you still need some depth there. I mean, if Nate Davis maintained to be the starter, you want the depth there. And Ryan Bates was providing really quality depth for the Chicago Bears. And with the Bears facing the Houston Texans defensive line, you want all your guys out there. And because now we're not going to have that, that's ugly. So that means that Nate Davis is going to be the right guard going forward. We also know that Scott Daly was also moved to the active roster. Collin Johnson was also elevated to the active roster for Sunday's game as well. So this just puts more pressure on Nate Davis to not be a bust for the Chicago Bears. And he has been that primarily in his time here in Chicago so far, getting a guaranteed $30 million. When Bears fans say, let's cut Nate Davis, you're not going to cut a guarantee because you're not going to get any benefit from cutting him. So, now at the end of the day, Nate Davis is going to stay being that starter, and we'll see what happens. Now, with Rome Odunze and Keenan Allen, seeing what's going on with them, Collin Johnson being activated, Tyler Scott should also be available. That's going to bring some people that understand the system for Caleb Williams. But overall, the Bears' injuries are starting to stack up, no matter how long or not they are. This Ryan Bates injury is kind of the longest term one, other than Patrick Scales, who's a long snapper. It sucks. It just really sucks that this is already how the Chicago Bears season is starting off, especially at a time where we're looking for the offense to really start getting going. And Shane Waldron talked about the identity of the offense. He said this: each year, it's its own year. So when we're building the offense, the identities might form a little quicker. I think with our group right now, with the amount of newness and moving young players at certain positions, I think it's something we know we want to be. We want to look like as well as we move forward. I think that we'll get closer and closer to that. I expect us to be there sooner rather than later as far as what our identity looks like. We know we want to be an attacking offense. We want to be able to feel the tempo, feel the rhythm in the game right now, and then be able to maximize the usage of all our different personnel. We didn't see that in week 1, right? And so with injuries, you're not going to really see that with week 2, especially with the players that you have. You can still go to a lot of different players. We still got a lot of different versatile weapons here, but we need to start seeing us get in our bag. And that's what we want to see from the Chicago Bears, is us developing a bag. We don't even know if we have a bag right now for sure, but we've got to start developing that. And I'm glad that Shane Waldron, as the play caller, has also taken accountability for the Chicago Bears offense, because we got to key in, man. We've already talked about some of the keys for the Chicago Bears. We got to be able to do that, and the offense is a big part of what this Bears team identity should be going forward, but it's going to take time to develop. I've been preparing you guys. I've been telling you guys it was not going to be an easy role for the offense. The offense wasn't just going to come into the season and look like who and what we need them to be. Now, last week in week 1 was even worse than what I expected, but you're going to have some of those hard times. You're going to have to come over some of those hardships, and it's just about how the Bears develop that, get that over time, and start developing that identity. And let's hope we start seeing the makings of that here in week 2 against the Houston Texans. But we're going to be down a really good offensive lineman who performed well for us in week 1 in his snaps, so much so that he played more snaps than Nate Davis, the starting right guard, when it was all said and done, at that right guard position specifically. So now we're going to have to try to overcome that with other players, right? And so We'll see what that means, how the Bears work out that rotation. It's going to be an interesting thing to watch, but it's up for this Bears team to figure that the hell out, and let's hope that they do. With that said, let's go ahead and get into the mailbag for today. This first voicemail, this one's from Greedy.
Yo, this is Greedy. Shout out to y'all at Chicago Bears Central, man. Calling just to say, man, I think for the Bears to win next week against the Texans, I think they got to stop the run, man. Joe Mixon, he went crazy last week against the Colts, you know what I'm saying? And we got to stop that run. And I feel like we got a DB core that can stop they wide receivers, they wide outs, you know what I'm saying? They got, they got Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, Tank Dell, but we got Kyler Gordon, Kyrie Stevenson, and Jalen Johnson, our secondary. So, we got to get to that quarterback. We got to get to C.J. Stroud, man. We got to touch him. We can't go no first half. We can't go no first half. I don't know, man. Maybe we can turn up the second half. I don't know. But we got to do like how we did Will Levis. We got to get them frustrated. And offense got to get to going, man. Caleb and all them that 100-yard, we can't do that. Can't do that against no Texans. I feel like they got to watch, instead of the interior this week, it's going to be the edges, man. Will Anderson, and they got, what's his name? Danielle Hunter. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, we got to stop them from getting to Caleb, and we got to, we got to get some TDs this week and run that football, use Cole Kmet, get this man some action plays, you know what I'm saying? And I want to see them run that football better, man. And, hey, I'm ready for it, man. People say that we can't win, but anything possible on any given Sunday, man. It's the NFL, man. Bear down.
Listen, I agree with you. We got a lot to stop against the Texans. The run is one. The Houston Texans had over 200 yards passing, over 200 yards on the ground as well in week 1. They had over 400 yards of total offense. If you can make them one-dimensional, you can play them. You can start kind of figuring out what you. So whether you're stopping the pass or stopping the run, whichever one that is, the Bears have to try to force this Houston Texans team to be a one-dimensional team in the offense in whatever way that they can. And if they can do that, that's where things start to pay off for the Chicago Bears. So they got to lock in. They got to figure it out. And if they don't, it's going to be ugly. So let's hope that they can figure out whatever they stop. This defense has to be ready because the Texans offense is an offense that is trying to prove that they can be a Super Bowl contender this year. They're not just aiming for a playoff win. They're just not aiming to go a little bit step further. They are trying to make it to a Super Bowl. And you've seen it in the moves that they've made, getting Danielle Hunter on the defensive side of the ball. The Bears are going to have their work cut out for them for the entirety of this game. Let's hope that the Chicago Bears can get it done. Let's get into this next voicemail. This one is from Marifa Asa.
Bobby, C-Dub, hey, them cognac boys. What's happening, fellas? It's your man, Marifa Asa, black yet again, man. Listen, I'm heading down, man, getting on the plane, going to H-Town so I can kick it, man, at the game, man. This weekend, man, we're going to watch the Bears versus the Texans. Now, last week I called in, man, and I got it down to the final score. I said it was 24-17, and damn so it was 24-17. I should have called Vegas and got me a bet in at the parlay and made me a few dollars, okay? So I could put on this Houston trip, okay? But look here, man. I'm calling my predictions in my post-prediction game show right now in my preview. So this one I'm calling in this right now. So look here, man. So this what's going to happen, okay? This what's going to happen. Now, the Houston Texans is a playoff team, all right? They solid. They got a lot of good players over there. They got a lot of good coaches over there, okay? Now, they ain't got that defensive interior line like Tennessee got, that them big monsters in there. So Kevin Jenkins should be able to do his thing, and Nate Davis, sorry motherfucking ass, should be able to stay up on his feet. And if he don't do his thing, then we're going to see Bates in there, okay? And Sheldon shouldn't be on his ass this game, okay? So Caleb should have time in the pocket to be able to look down the field and throw that ball, okay? But we got to watch out for Danielle Hunter. Now, he's been a Bears killer over there when he was in Minnesota for a long time. But you know what? We got tight end over there, Cole Kmet, going to be over there shipping, with Braxton Jones, okay? And look here, Donnell Wright, he played Will Anderson in the SEC, Alabama versus Tennessee for several years. And Donnell Wright shut him down. So I ain't worried about Will Anderson, okay? So what I'm talking about there, they got 3 wide receivers, Collin, Dale, and Diggs over there But we got 3 dogs in our backfield, okay? That's going to shut that shit down. All right? Now, look here. Now, this one is going to be. It's going to be a defensive match, but it's going to be a battle, okay? We're going to get our hits in. They're going to get their hits in, but it's going to come down to the end. Now, I'm going to say this. The prediction going to be Chicago 20, Houston 17. That's what it's going to be. Chicago 20, Houston 17. All right? Look at man, got to get up out of here. Got a place to go. Got people to see. But you know what I'm going to say before I leave? It's Chicago up. And bear down, baby. FTB. Let's go.
All right, listen, I'm glad that you're going to take some of that luck for the Bears to Houston with you, so I'm glad you'll be touching down on that. But now with Ryan Bates out, which just happened today, was before you left this voicemail, Coleman Shelton and Nate Davis are the guys at the center and at the right guard position. And we got to hope that they're going to perform better because there's not now people behind them will really threat to take their starting position. And I'll be interested to see as well now if Ryan Poles does now, this may force his hand to go out. If we keep playing bad, if he forces his hand to make a deal earlier than maybe what he would have before, we'll see. He doesn't really panic, right? He's always going to be poised and calculated, but we'll see if that forces his hand a little bit. But the offensive line has his work to do. And especially against this defensive line, they're going to have to work, bro. They're going to have to work. And I know, hearing the thing of like Will Anderson and our second year tackle there, like we got it, Darnell Wright, we got to lock in. And if we don't, it's going to be ugly, bro. Like that's just what it comes down to. So we don't need to see a massacre. We don't want to see Caleb Williams be put on his ass. Like we don't want to see that. So let's hope that we're going to get the job done and this offensive line has a much better performance in week 2 than what they did in week 1. Because if not, about to be ugly. All right, let's get into this next voicemail. This one's from Craig.
Chicago Bears Central. What's going on, fellas? It's your boy Clay. Hey, I had a thought. That Caleb had a bad game, considering where he was in college. But, in college he was the only thing that his team had. So he felt as if he had to be Superman a lot of times. And in a sense, it felt like he was trying to make plays that he didn't need to make necessarily instead of just taking what was given to him. I'm hoping that he has relaxed and come to the realization that he has a team around him and he doesn't have to go and do the unnecessary Superman things that he was doing in college, and that he can trust his teammates to make plays that they're known for making. Just a quick little thing, didn't want to say too much. Y'all boys hold it down. And again, Chicago up and bear down.
Listen, I get what you're saying as far as Caleb having to be Superman in college and things like that, but listen, you need a little bit of that on the NFL level as well. Now, that's going to take some time to develop. The speed of the NFL game is different than the college game. You're facing guys every single day where at the level that maybe you faced every other week in college, right? So, Caleb had a bad game. Nobody is trying to sugarcoat it. Caleb had a bad performance. But there have been quarterbacks that have had a bad performance that have gone on and play have great careers. So, the people that try to, write it off and be like, oh, well, we knew Caleb was going to – it's his first game. Let's see how he performs. Let's see how he develops. It's going to be the time. And like I've said literally since we drafted Caleb, it's not about him coming in and from day one looking like a generational quarterback. It's from how he learns from his mistakes. That's the thing I've always been the most interested to see about Caleb's development here. How do you learn from your mistakes? Hope that he does. All right, let's get into this next voicemail. This one is from Milton.
Yo, CDC, Chicago Bears Central. What it do? This is Milton, the real Dark Knight, calling in from Virginia Beach again. Once again on this beautiful weekend. Hope everything is going well with you and yours. I just want to say congratulations to y'all doing your collabo with DraftKings this weekend with the live call-in and everything. I can wish y'all nothing but the best and more endeavor coming down the line. But anyway, man, let's get down to brass tacks, man. The JJ, Velus Jones Jr., Nate Davis, any other sorry player we got on this roster, the project, the movie is over. It's a wrap, especially after that dude dropped that ball. Man, I'm so ready for this dude to get off this team. Nate Davis is pretty much a non-factor. You don't even know where he is, if he's even on the team or anything, man. I'm just done, man. My patience is gone. Simple as that. But anyway, man, I just wanted to say, big up to y'all. Congratulations. I hope y'all do the damn thing on DraftKings, man. But this is going out to the people calling here, man. Yeah, we can disagree on players that we want to see flourish or people we want to see cut, but we don't have to take it as far as name calling. You know what I'm saying? it just irked me after the game last week that we got some ignorant fools out here that want to call y'all ignorant there on CBC, or just any, show. I just want to say, if you got to be like that, don't call. You know, I stand 10 toes down with y'all CBC because, I mean, we got some rude people out here in this world. I mean, yeah, it's sports. We're going to be in our feelings about stuff, especially when we lose games or lose a player that we've grown accustomed to seeing and close to and all this other stuff. But we don't have to take it as far as name calling. But, you know, if you got to go to that, you're stupid. Just use what has Haize like to say to the people that can't think for themselves. You're stupid if you want to be thinking one-dimensionally like that. You don't need to resort to name calling. You don't need to be calling, and especially calling y'all stupid or ignorant or whatever it is. I stand with y'all 10 toes down in the dirt. I'll stand beside y'all on the battlefield against these jokers. So I just want to let y'all know that. But anyway, Haize, Bobby, C-Dub, Stevo, Big Kev, just want to say again, congratulations to y'all with your collab on DraftKings. There's only many more things to come. Blessings to you and yours. Hope y'all have a good day. Chicago up, Bear down, Milton, the real Dark Knight calling for Virginia Beach, Virginia. I'm out.
Listen, I get what you're saying, but unfortunately, none of the project players are not done with any of those guys yet. We're just not, and we're not going to be anytime soon. Velus is still going to get some opportunity and some time. A lot of these guys are still going to get opportunity and time, and that's just what Ryan Poles has set up. And especially for somebody like Velus, I can kind of understand it in the fact that you draft him in the 3rd round, you moved his position, you want to give him maybe a year to see what he can be at that position, but that's pretty much it for Velus. And that's what it comes down to. Like him and Dominique Robinson are pretty much on their last legs, and I mean, it's from their own inability, their own performance. That's just what it comes down to. And we got guys coming in that are performing better than them. And that's just what it's going to be. I don't know if Velus would have made the team if Ian Willer, maybe it would have been Travis Homer who didn't make it, and Velus and Ian Willer would have been on this team. But yeah, Velus, this is probably his last year to prove that he deserves to belong here in the NFL and on the Chicago Bears. And let's see what happens there. As far as the trolls, don't worry about the trolls. Listen, they get handled here. We are somebody who are not against flaming trolls, and that's one thing that makes Chicago Bears Central different. We ain't ESPN. You come in here talking reckless, we're gonna talk reckless back to you. Don't let the DraftKings sponsorship fool you. We still got something for you. So that's just what it comes down to there. But Milton, thank you for leaving that voicemail. Let's get into the last one on this bonus episode. This one is from my boy Darius.
What's going on, man? Darius from Dallas here. Just wanted to speak to the idiots out there, because I know Haize, C-Dub, and Bobby, Kevin, all y'all got pretty high football IQ, and so do most of the callers that call in. Got pretty decent football IQ. But to the ones that's just stupid, that just look at what they saw on the headlines and start talking shit, because I've already dealt with a little bit of it this morning on Facebook, so that's why I want to go ahead and address it, okay? Now I'm sitting up here, got sinus draining and all kinds of stuff going on. These people fucking with me this morning. So there is going to be things that Caleb and our defense maybe even have to go through during the season, man. We're not going to learn everything. He's not going to learn everything right out the gate, bro. I thought that was a basic thing that rookies go through. Like, I just had a guy telling me, because he didn't have as good of a rookie year as Justin Herbert, or good as, or good as first game as Justin Herbert, that, he ain't going to be worth a damn. Okay, well, based on that logic, man, a lot of quarterbacks wouldn't have been worth a damn, So what we got to do as a team is keep getting these ugly wins. Just keep getting these nasty, ugly wins where we barely, because we got to keep doing that to about week 8. There's going to be things that Caleb's got to go through in a game-like situation. There's going to be things that some of the other rookies got to go through, and even Shane Waldron. There's going to be some things Shane Waldron's got to learn in the natural process of going through the first 8 weeks. But as y'all know, we always finish the last 8 weeks strong. So we got the 3rd easiest schedule. And if this is Caleb being bad and we still win, okay, then just wait to see what happens when he gets good. But we're gonna have these games, man. So y'all just gotta, as Bears fans, we gotta just muster through this and hope that these first 8 weeks, we're just gonna have to get about 4 or 5 real ugly wins out of there. And that's okay, because we're gonna come back from that bye. He's gonna be clicking. He's gonna be clicking at the right time. We just can't be 1-7, 1-6, 2-5, 3-4 when that time comes. I want to be on the upside of the winning schedule this time. That way, after the first 8 weeks, it seems like for the past 2 years, after the first 8 weeks, we kick it up a notch. So I just want to have a decent record by the time that 8 weeks comes around. That way, we're not already out of playoff contention by the time the team figures it out. And I think and I hope that we have the coaching staff that can get that done. But y'all, look, we're not getting Dan Marino out of this boy right now, okay? first 8 weeks, we're going to have to get some ugly wins out the way. And that don't mean that he's not good. That don't mean he's a bust and all this shit I've been seeing on social media today. He's going to be fine. It's just going to take him 8 weeks or so. We just need to stay afloat and at least win 70% of those games before things get kicked on at week 8. It could be sooner, but y'all just be patient, man. To the idiots, shut the fuck up. For the rest of y'all, check yourself, bear down.
Listen, ugly wins to start the season is such a poignant point. Like, that's just on point. Absolutely. Like, it's going to be a little bit ugly. It's going to be a little bit rocky, but that's why you have the defense that you have. Having a top 5 defense in the NFL, it allows you certain things as far as getting over a hump offensively. Now, you want to see us get to the hump. You don't want to see us keep failing to match the energy that this defense is bringing. You don't want that. Now, luckily, the offense didn't lose us the game and get in the way of the defense winning us the game, and that may be that for a couple of weeks. But as long as we're making improvement, like I've said it, like you said it here in the voicemail, after the bye week is when I expect and want to see this offense looking like a well-oiled machine for the rest of the season. From now until then, it's growing pains. You don't want it to look as bad as then, and you don't want it to look bad every single game, but you're going to have your rough spots. You're going to go through your ups and downs. You're going to go through your times where you're like, hey, this guy sucks, right, about multiple people. But we're going to grow and develop. We know not to write the story on players too early, and we'll see how that develops over time as well, Darius. But thank you for leaving that, man. I appreciate all you guys. As you guys can tell, like I said, the number one spot, wanted to catch up. There were so many voicemails. That's why you got more mailbag episodes this weekend. But listen, we ain't going to be able to do this every weekend. We were able to do it. It was week 1. A lot of new callers. We wanted to respect those new callers as well as our veteran callers. But, yeah, so going forward, if we don't get to your voicemail, it's not personal. It really is not personal. The podcast is growing. The show's growing. Everything's growing. The platform's growing. And Bears fandom is growing, especially after Hard Knocks as well. And I think that's going to bring some things with it also. But, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys are following the show at Shy Bears Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. ChicagoBearsCentral@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-242-9336. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related, but that's thanks to you guys. And like I like to end every episode on, Chi-Town up, but bear down. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.